follow me over this way because this morning we have a very special guest with us. We have Michele Monro. Good morning, Michele. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Thanks very much for coming along. Now, why are you here with us this morning?
Celebrating the 25th anniversary of my dad's passing and the legacy left behind. I've written a great book and got some great products for you today.
Of course it is, the inimitable Mr. Matt Monro. Just the most amazing collection that we have for you. A great book. All the books are signed as well. And we've got a couple of DVDs in there and a CD. We'll have a full look at this a little bit later on during the show. So the morning show continues. Here we are then. It's Tuesday's morning show. Thanks to Kathy. We'll see Kathy again in just a short while. But you're with me, Anthony Hayward, for the next section of the show. And it's a great pleasure to introduce Michele Monro. Lovely to see you again.
Hi.
Thanks very much for coming onto the show this morning.
Pleasure.
Now, for people who don't know, you are the daughter of
Matt
the
Monro.
great Matt Monro.
The great, the legendary.
He is a real legend. I mean, so many people have heard his music and absolutely adore his music as well.
He is, and he led a really full life. And a lot of people, if you ask them the question, what do you know? Oh, he's a singing bus driver and he sang Born Free, but they don't really know very much more. So that was the reason for the book. And the fact is, like, whereas the music immortalises, you know, what he left behind, the book immortalises the man.
Well, let's quickly run through what you're actually getting with the package today. It's a great comprehensive package which kind of gives you the background story and also allows you to relive some of his performances as well. So not only do you get this fabulous book which you wrote, Michele.
Oh yes, I wrote and I've signed everyone, 3 years to write.
So each book is signed by Michele. You're also going to get a dual DVD pack with some great performances in there, and also a CD with some of those classic hits. I mean, I was saying earlier on that it's not particularly my era of music,
no.
But over the past few years I've really started getting into this type of music because it's so, I think it's timeless. It really is.
Well, music transcends everything, whether it's colour, race, creed, religion. It does. You don't even have to speak English.
No.
It evokes these wonderful emotions and passions in people, and they will relate to a piece of music, like when they had their child or dance their first dance, and that relates, and then their children will grow up with it, so they suddenly come to it at some point in their lives.
Now we're going to have a listen to some various bits of music throughout the next 10 minutes or so. We're going to start off with actually one of my favourite tracks, which was actually the very first song written for a Bond film. It was, of course, From Russia With Love.
To Russia I flew, but there and then I suddenly knew.
Such a great track. How does it make you feel watching clips like that?
Very proud, very proud.
Yeah.
You know, for him as well, with that song, it was the first Bond musically to have its own theme.
Yeah.
The second movie, first was Dr. No, but it only had instrumental.
Yeah.
So, you know, he set a tradition that still carries on today, which
Absolutely.
is really lovely, you know.
I mean, that's a great accolade to have, isn't it, really?
It is.
really is.
That clip actually comes from a concert, which was in my garage for 18 years, in an unmarked reel, under every piece of debris, cobwebs, the lot. And I unearthed it and gave it to someone just to see what was on it. And this is the only concert that exists from 1967 in Australia.
See, that's, I think, the travesty of that period of time. Tape was so expensive and film was so expensive. Nothing was kept, so all of the TV appearances, I mean, he did so many TV appearances.
They taped over
They're
it to
just
save
gone.
money.
There's so little remaining.
I mean,
of the
we're so
performances that he
lucky
did.
to have that concert. And in this package, it's totally been remastered. It's fantastic quality.
Yeah.
And what's so nice about this, I mean, it's taken me 20 years to source some of this material. So there's 23 of his best television performances as well on this DVD, you know, so it's fantastic to be able to bring it out.
Yeah, I can imagine. So remember, in this package, well over 100 of you have already gone for this morning. It's not just the DVDs, you're getting 2 DVDs in this pack. You're getting the CD as well, and I'll just spin the CD around so you can have a look at some of the tracks on the back. And, it's just such a great selection on there. I'm sure you'll recognise many of those tracks. And the book, which Michele has written herself, took around about 3 years to write, and we'll talk about that more in just a second. But all the books are signed as well. And the CD, you can see some of the tracks on there as well.
And that CD, The Greatest, has a track on it that's never been released before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, first time as well. There's also a CD in this package, which is a Filipino concert he did. So there's a great variety here. You know, you don't even have to be a true fan. If you're just starting out, this is the package for you, because it's got a bit of everything.
Fly Me to the Moon,
Yeah.
My Kind of Girl, Walk Away, Love Story, Born Free. I mean, there are so many classic tracks on here. I think Matt's music, like we were saying before, just appeals to so many different people.
It does. And also, like The Impossible Dream, and was on the Honda advert recently, so everybody suddenly goes, oh yeah, I know that one. And also This Is the Life, which was on the Harvey's furniture advert about 9 months in the background, but people suddenly realised, you know, rushed out to buy the album, which is fantastic.
Do you have any particular favourite memories of maybe some of the appearances he did, or maybe some of the famous people that he met?
Sammy Davis Jr. has to be, for me, the best. We were in Vegas and we were his guests at a show, and I insisted on sitting at the front, which you don't do, apparently, you know, you sit back. And he called Dad up on stage to sing, and he said he was one of the greatest singers in the world, and I suddenly realised at that point that actually he was a peer, he wasn't just a singer, he was in that same category. They absolutely slaughtered the audience, it was fantastic.
Really?
Oh, I wish we'd had a video of it.
Once again, that's there's so little footage around of many of these events, that to be able to have something like this, that it's kind of like you say, sat in your garage for so long, just gathering
incredible.
dust.
And they were both very small entertainers, right? And Sammy said he forgave Daddy for singing so well because he was taller than him, but it was about an inch. So, you know, they were both quite small in stature.
I think the price on this is fabulous. You're getting not just the CD, but the DVD, the book as well, which is signed. You were saying it took you about 3 years to write this book.
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea. It was a big journey for me. It's a bit like doing a jigsaw puzzle. You got one piece, and then you realised you had another 1,000 to go. So it was a little bit awesome to start with. But there's 100 photographs in the book as well. So I wanted them on the pages where the stories are. So it brings it to life a little bit.
What was it like, kind of, because obviously some things would be harder to write about than others. I mean, what was the experience of writing it like?
Some of it was very hard, obviously very painful. Things that the beginning of his life was a huge learning curve for me. I had no idea he'd come from such an impoverished background. You know, one of 5 children, and his mother was bringing them up alone because his own father had died when he was only 3.
Did he always want to sing?
Yes, always. It was
because he was a bus driver, wasn't he?
Yes, but only for 11 weeks of his life.
Oh, was that really?
Yeah, absolutely, because that's when Decca found him, and so the PR machine grabbed onto it and said, oh, singing bus driver, you know, sort of a Cinderella story, but no, he was 11 weeks, but he had every job in the world. He was an offal boy, you know, he swept up in factories, he worked for British Rail, he was a bricklayer, he did everything. But when when the war hit, they had this little Baker-like radio, they were listening to the big band sounds, and he fell in love with it, and it was his escapism. So he knew that's what he wanted to do.
If you love the music of Matt Monro, you want to find out more about the background and the history of Matt, this book is an absolutely fascinating read, it really is, and with those photographs as well, it kind of really brings it back to life. Let's have a listen to more of Matt's music. Incredible performer. You can sense the emotion, there's warmth in his voice, it's just fabulous. If you want to get hold of this package, it is available today here on QVC, £35.98. That gets you the book, which is signed, which Michele wrote. It's a fascinating read. You've got the DVDs, and also you've got the CD, which is The Greatest, which has got some of his greatest hits on there as well, including a never-before-released song.
Absolutely, and this DVD package also has a CD, which is a Filipino concert.
Fabulous.
So it's a great selection.
For the time being, we're going to have to wrap things up, but you're going to be back with me at 1 o'clock.
I am.
We'll have time to talk about more and hopefully listen to more music as well.
Fabulous.
Stay watching The Morning Show. I'll be back in just a short while, but next up, here's Kathy.